Hello everyone, I'm TitanicSizedReviews, where I review movies, shows, and video games. And today I'm reviewing The Hills Have Eyes, the 1977 version, Part 1, and the 1984 version, Part 2. I'm going to try not to give too many spoilers for Part 1. Part 2, I just can't avoid some of them. So The Hills Have Eyes, Part 1. Starts out with a hillbilly. I don't fully remember his name. I think it's Freddy. And from the get-go, he's the grandpa of this cannibal family that live up in the hills. They say that in the very beginning. I wouldn't say that's a spoiler. He meets our main characters, basically our family that's coming through with a trailer. There's 5 of them and 2 dogs and a baby. There's Bob the dad, Ethel the mom, Doug the son-in-law who's married to the eldest daughter Lynn, who they have the baby with, and Brenda the youngest sister, and Bobby the brother. The 2 dogs are Beauty and Beast. And out of the cannibals, that's excluding the hillbilly. He's related to them, but he doesn't partake in what they do. You've got Ruby, who they show right away talking to the hillbilly in the very beginning. Speaks English just fine, by the way. It's a little weird. I'll get into that in a little bit, but it's a little strange. Then you've also got Mercury, Pluto, Mars, Jupiter, and the mama, whose name I don't know because I don't think they ever mention it. That's for the cannibals. They're called the Coyotes. They say it like twice. I guess that's what they call their little group. Kind of weird. It's whatever. So the family comes to the hillbilly to get gas. He tells them not to go down this dirt road and to follow the main road to get to LA, which is their main goal. Of course, they don't listen. The old man, Bob, who's driving, he's a retired cop. He just wants to take this shortcut, at least what he thinks is a shortcut. That's kind of the rationale behind that. Obviously, it doesn't work out for them. He gets scared from a jet flying overhead. They're near an airfield base. At least that's what the hillbilly says. They're near an active airfield base. You have jets flying by like twice, and one flies relatively close and scares him for some reason. I don't know why he's terrified of the jet, but he's like super scared of it. Drives all crazy, sees a bunny rabbit, turns off the road, and crashes the car. I thought that was a little stupid, but whatever. 1977 movie. It's old. I don't expect it to be super good. It's kind of like an indie movie. It's gonna have flaws. I expect it to have flaws. I'm not gonna go too much into the details after the car accident. I'm just gonna mention a few parts because, like I said, I don't want to spoil this first one too much. I do think the first one's actually pretty good for what it is, for being an old movie, how it's shot, the characters, the way they act. They all feel like they give realistic actions to what's going on, such as like screaming or freaking out. Some people just kind of going cold because they don't know how to react in the moment. That would be Bobby. Brenda, the youngest sister, screams a lot, and that's kind of annoying. But I think it's realistic based off the circumstances that happen to them while they're in their RV trailer trying to survive. Some parts are a little off, just a little bit. Like there's a few minor details I feel like they kind of miss that just make the movie a little goofy at times, such as the cannibal Pluto. There's a part where he's like on the ground and he's chasing after one of the dogs, Beast, and the dog like goes behind some bushes or around it. He's not standing, he's like crawling because he's hurt. He moves the bushes away for some weird reason to look in to see for the dog. I don't understand that. But a rabbit pops out and then he freaks out and starts laughing like, ah, like he's not in imminent danger. The dog is the one who hurt him in the first place, which is why he's crawling around. So that was kind of stupid. I love that dog though. Like, they made that dog super smart. That dog honestly does more than the people do in terms of saving their lives. I love the dog. Beast is great. There's not a whole lot for me to say about the family, other than I think their characters they're good. Some parts are kind of, like I said, kind of weird. Like, there's a part with the dad and some fire. And the reaction that you get there is a little... What? At least from the son, Bobby, you would expect like I don't know, more of a reaction. But like I said, he's kind of cold. He's like the only one that's cold. Doug, the brother-in-law, is a bit more rational. But nobody seems to be like super freaked out in this moment involving the dad and some fire, when clearly they should be, because based off what they're seeing right there, some shit's going on, and they should be very concerned, but they're not as concerned as they should be. The mom's hysterical. The daughter's sad. I mean, I think her reaction's good, but she's not like hysterical like the mom, kind of like crazy in that moment. I don't know. It just seemed a little weird how nobody was better prepared in that situation based off what just happens in that exact moment in the movie. Other than that, I don't really have too many complaints, really, for like the family. When it comes to the cannibals, I'm a little confused with their whole dynamic. They mention how the dad of the cannibals like kidnaps a girl at some point, and that's who the mom is of the other cannibals. She's fat. I'm just gonna say it right now. She's fat. And I just say that because it's weird, because they're cannibals living in the desert. I don't know how often they're eating people, but it seems kind of ridiculous. A little bit. Seems a little bit ridiculous. That's all I'm saying. She looks like a shaman. She's a fat shaman. The dad, Jupiter, looks like Paul Bunyan. Got like a raccoon cap and pelts all over his jacket. Pluto looks like someone from Mad Max. Ruby kind of looks like a cave girl a little bit, at least like just the way she's dressed. Mars looks like a biker going through some like cocaine addiction or some shit. He's just smoking a bunch of cigarettes. He looks, I don't know, he looks kind of warped out. Mercury, you don't really get a great look at that dude. He almost reminds me of a child just based off his outfit from like a different movie. I don't know. I can't remember the movie, but that's what I would say he looks like. You watch it, you'll find out. I think they all do a good job. I think everybody in this does a good job of acting. Like I said, there's a few moments that are like, what just happened here? But those are more like plot holes rather than an acting problem. Some of the things, like I said, that don't make sense. For instance, there's a part where Mars, the son cannibal, he's like chasing some people after he was hurt. He's hurt. I don't think that's really a spoiler. He gets hurt, like stabbed in the leg. I don't really think that's that big of a spoiler. So, but yeah, he chases some people. I won't say who. Super easy and runs super fast. Like, that wound on his leg meant nothing at all. It's real weird, because for the most part, these cannibals they're normal. Like, they're normal people. There's nothing really that strange about them. Maybe they look a little weird. They obviously are sick in the head to a degree. They fucking eat people. In the beginning of the movie, the hillbilly gives you a little story about the dad, Jupiter, and how he was like taller than him when he was 10 years old. Freak in nature, like super strong. So he like throws him out in the desert and leaves him to die. And I don't know. I don't know why the dad, Jupiter, doesn't go to kill his dad, the hillbilly. Just like at any point in his life, he just doesn't. He just doesn't do it. I don't know why. Because the hillbilly says that he like hit him in the head, leaves him to die. It doesn't make any sense. But whatever. They moved past it, apparently. At least for a little while. Those are just some of those like weird like little plot hole things, I think, where you're just like, okay. But whatever. All in all, I'd say the first movie's actually pretty good. For what it is, for an old movie, for how it's set up, I think it's pretty good. I don't think there's not that many plot holes. There's just like the few that I pointed out that I can remember. I can't really think of any more off the top of my head. Like I said, some of the reactions might be a little strange, but it's not that bad. I'd say the first movie is like a 6 out of 10. I think it's worth a watch. I'm not comparing this to the 2006 version, and I'm not comparing the second part to the 2007 version for part 1, part 2. I do like those, but I can't say I remember a whole lot about them. Those ones are definitely entertaining, though. I would definitely recommend watching those two versions, the 2006 and 2007 version. Those ones, they're not like normal-looking people who, for some weird reason, are kind of smart. I don't know. Sorry, I forgot to bring that up. The cannibals in this are kind of smart for some weird reason. Like they're intelligent for people who live in a fucking desert. I don't know why. But I'd recommend the 2006, 2007 version for sure. Now, on to part 2. And there will be spoilers for this part for the first one. This second one, it's not very good. It's not very good. It's I don't know. It's like one of those bad movies that's kind of fun to watch. I certainly didn't feel bored when I was watching it. It didn't have as many plot holes as you would think in other movies. I would say it probably has more than the first one, but it doesn't have as many as like some other movies. So I kind of let that go. One big plot hole, though, that it has, and I'm just going to get right to this, is Pluto, who's in the first one. He died in the first one. He straight up died. The dog Beast killed him. Rips his throat out. Somehow that man comes back just fine. Just fine. I don't know what the deal is with that. Well, the movie starts out with Bobby, the son from the first one. He's still alive. This second movie is taking place 8 years after the first movie. And Bobby's training like a camp of motocross people. That's the best way I can describe it. They ride dirt bikes. I don't really know if they're getting paid for it or not, but they ride dirt bikes. They're like a group. They're basically greasers. He runs it with his wife, I believe is his wife. His wife is Ruby from the first movie, and she looks absolutely nothing like she does in the first movie. She's like well-dressed, educated even more. I'm pretty sure it's just a different actress, but it's supposed to be the same character. And the people that they train are Hulk, Foster, Harry, Roy, Chase, Jane, and I honestly don't remember the last one's name. Yeah, I didn't catch her name. Doesn't really matter. You know that these people are here to die. They're like young teens, right? Or old teens. I don't know. I honestly don't know their age. They're driving motocross bikes. They're drinking beer and Pepsi. They're young adults. We'll just go with that. They're young adults. So they want to go on this trip out to the desert to ride these dirt bikes for some reason. I don't remember why. It doesn't really seem to matter that much. But they're going to go to this desert area, which is close to where the incidents from the first movie happened. Except this is an abandoned bomb field from the Air Force. Apparently. So no jets. Don't got to worry about jets flying around. Yeah. So Bobby doesn't want to go because he's traumatized from the first one, and that's fine. Rachel takes them, and, well, you know, shit's gonna happen. Of course, they go over like a rock. I don't think that was even on purpose, and it like cuts the gas line or punctures a hole in the gas tank, and it just starts leaking, so they start losing gas. Okay, well, since I'm re-recording this part, since for some weird reason it cut it off for me. Right after the whole gas tank issue and then patching it up with some bubble gum, they go and explore this mine shaft area that's clearly not abandoned. They look around, they find a generator with gas in it, from what I can tell. I don't know why they don't take the gas out of that and use it in the bus. Whatever. At some point, they're all exploring the area. Rachel/Ruby is exploring the area with Hulk. They get separated for a moment because Hulk takes Beast back to the bus. And Ruby gets attacked by her brother Pluto. Tells everybody after they come in and kind of like save her because he runs away. They didn't see him. She tells everybody that she used to be a part of that cannibalistic group. Her brother's alive. It's dangerous there. They believe her. And shortly after, Pluto steals one of their dirt bikes. For some weird reason, Harry and Roy decide to chase after this cannibal that they know is real because they can see him. I don't know what the deal is with that. Harry sets off a trap he knows is there, laughs about it, and then gets killed by a second trap because he's an idiot. That part looks real goofy. A lot of this second movie feels like a sitcom. Roy gets hit in the head with a machete after he's caught in a net. He survives. And go back to the cabin where the rest of the group is just hanging out, chilling, like it's a laugh, like, ah, this isn't a serious situation. We're not stranded and there's a potential cannibal outside. Pretty fucking goofy. At one point, Foster and his girl Sue, there are 7 characters, by the way, not 6. Sorry about that. They go to the bus, make a whoopee. Yes, I said whoopee. You do see boobs. Foster later on goes and sees Jane, I believe, and she's taking a shower that she found out there for some weird reason, just out in the open. She's just naked taking a shower. Again, with potential cannibals, it's nighttime. It's been a while since Roy and Harry have been missing. Foster kind of hits on her. Sue hears it, gets mad. Foster chases after Sue. Foster gets on the bus for some weird reason, turns it on to get the lights, I guess, to see her, and then drives kind of after her for a little bit, which is kind of weird, super wasteful on the gas. Whatever, I guess it's not like a huge L right there. It makes a little bit of sense at least, right? If he's like turning on the lights to see her and turning the bus. But I mean, as far as he drives, it just seems kind of stupid. He kind of drives it into the dirt. Whatever. He ends up dying. Eventually, she ends up dying like right after, I believe. Hers is real quick. Hers is probably the most violent death and probably the only one you like really see. Besides Hulk's. Hulk's death is pretty good. He dies when he's out with Rachel while all this shit's happening back in the mine village house area. Sorry, I haven't eaten 3 days. My words are a little all over the place, and having to redo this kind of pissed me off. Rachel almost dies to Pluto, but then gets scared of Beast, and he runs off. I don't know what happens to Rachel, if she dies later on, or if she survived and they just don't show her. I may have missed that part. I looked away for a moment. I don't know what happens there. I don't know if Rachel's dead or not. Whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. The big dude of Jupiter's brother, who's the other cannibal with Pluto, is the one who kills Foster, his girlfriend Sue, and then kills Jane. Tries to kill Cass. Cass kind of escapes after he like jumps through the top of a window for some fucking reason, like it's an action movie. She goes to this hidden fridge area, crawls down into the mine shaft, feels around, feels a bunch of dead bodies of her friends and shit, smells embalming fluid, and for some weird reason puts it on. I'm assuming it's to mess with his sense of smell, because he should have like a really good sense of smell. Ruby has a good sense of smell. They indicate this by her smelling like a raccoon shortly before all the bullshit starts happening. That's my only rationale behind that. She throws embalming fluid on the dude's head. Cass is blind, by the way, so she just heard him stepping right next to her, and just... So he's kind of blind. She runs over to the mine shaft, crawls up this rope to try to get out. Roy comes back alive, pulls her out. They then set a trap. And I skipped the part where Pluto dies. He dies the exact same way that Mercury dies in the first movie. The dog Beast is fucking awesome. I just want to say that right now. I love the dog. Well, they set a trap for the big dude, Jupiter's brother, who I don't actually know if his name is Reaper or not. The brother dude, he kind of comes out of nowhere. They're just like, oh, he has a brother, and he's the one who's killing people right now. They don't really mention him in the first movie. In the first movie, they mentioned that the hillbilly has another kid, but they said that kid's just fine and normal, and that the second one, Jupiter, is the one who's messed up. So I don't know where this other brother just magically fucking comes from. Whatever. They set a trap, kind of similar to the first one too, but instead of it pulling Jupiter's brother, it pulls Roy out of this area that they set on fire, which lights the bus on fire, blows up, kills the dude, and that's it. They're done. They survive. They get to walk away. I don't know. This movie's not very good. It's not awful. It's like on the brink of being okay and being bad. It's an old movie, and it's a sequel. I didn't really expect a whole lot. It's kind of like an indie movie. It didn't have enough like plot holes or anything worse for me to give it a worse score than I'm going to. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 10. I think that's a fair score for it. It's one of those bad movies that you might want to watch just for fun if you're doing like a bad movie marathon kind of thing. If you liked this video, please click subscribe, leave a like on the video, maybe share the video. If there's anything you think I can work on, maybe my pace, maybe my tone, maybe my storytelling, I don't know. Please leave a comment, let me know. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.